time. Here we go, lesson 4 homework. And this one goes out to all you parents who, just like back at the beginning of Module 1, were saying, this isn't how we did it. No, this isn't how you do it. This is one of those homeworks where we do things differently now. All right, so let the children lead the way. All right, let's start by jotting our name down at top of paper. Here's the deal. I'll write my name, and you write yours, unless you are me. Anyway, and then write the date. I'm going to write the word today, because I amuse myself in this way. You write the actual date. Let's look at the example. Okay, so 5 times 10 is what we're doing with these discs. Now, again, parents are taught a different way, okay? Your elders were not shown this way of doing it, but this is a better way because you really understand what you're doing instead of just following steps to get an answer. And here's why. Because someday soon perhaps, you'll be presented with a question where you can't just follow the steps, where you have to be able to think things through. So what we're building here are not your step following skills, but your analytical skills, where you can analyze what's happening and design your own solution. That's what it's about. So suck it up, Buttercup. Here we go. All right, so we have 5 ones, right? We're doing 5 and then times 10. Ride the time 10 slide, and it's 5 tens. See, so 5 times 10 is 50. We see we have 5 tens. Its value is 50. 5 ones times 10 is 5 tens. Okay, great. Now it's your turn. All right, here we go. So we're going to do 7 times 100. Okay, so let's model that out here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we like to do 5 in a row and then, reset, like the typewriters of old. Speaking of old folks, reset down to the next row here. 6 and 7. Now, we're multiplying it by 100. So 100 is 10 times 10, right? So we will multiply by 10 twice. So we're going to take these here ones and multiply them by 10. They will ride the times 10 slide. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we're not just multiplying by 10, we're multiplying by 100, which is 10 times 10. That's why we're multiplying by 10 twice. And we'll again then ride the times 10 slide. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7. And here they are in all their glory. So what is 7 ones times 10 times 10, or also known as 7 times 100? Well, what do we end up with? We end up with 7 in the hundreds place. The answer is 700. Now you're like, I could have found that so much more easily. Yes. Wait till we get to the end, and you'll see why this is so valuable. You'll get a taste of it. So now again, it's asking us the same question. Hey, decompose it. Take that 100 as 10 times 10. 7 times 10 times 10 is, yes, 700. And you're like, I just wrote that. Yeah, I know. Me too. Okay, here we go. So 7 ones times 100 is 7 what? 700s, okay? And this is the part that drives parents insane, is that they look at this number 1 here, and you say, well, I know what the answer is. I know how to do the math, but I don't know what Eureka Math is asking me to write in the blank. Well, there you go. Problem solved. Let's cruise on to number 2. So let's take a look now at number 2. So we have 7 times 1,000. 1,000 is 10 times 10 times 10, right? 10 times 10 is 100. 10 hundreds is 1,000. Okay, we understand the logic there. So let's do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so these 7 ones we're going to multiply by 1,000, which we'll do by multiplying it by 10 3 times. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. So we'll ride the times 10 slide over to the tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's times 10, but we're doing times 1,000, so let's keep going. Times 10, ride the time 10 slide over to the hundreds place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now 10 times 10 is 100, but we're multiplying by 1,000, so we will do one more time times 10. Beautiful. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now that gives us our answer, which, yes, I knew you already knew it. All right, so it's 7,000, right? So we'll write that as a number, 7, comma, 0, 0, 0 in standard form, 7,000. And yes, we're going to write 7,000 again here, but you want to see that 1,000 decomposed as 10 times 10 times 10. And for those who are kind of looking ahead, you see how this plays into scientific notation down the line and such? Yeah, there we go. All right, so that also is 7,000. Now, 7 ones times 1,000, we'd say is 7 in the thousands place, right? So 7 thousands. And now these are easy examples, okay? So you're like, duh, I knew that. But as we get on to more complicated examples, for example, multiplying with decimals, you'll see why we break it down by place value. Let's go on to number 3. And now your parents are saying, this is more what it's like. This is multiplication. Hey, vey. All right, here we go. So fill in the blanks in the following equations, which means we're not always solving for the product, although they are all multiplications. Sometimes we need to find the missing factor, the number that we're multiplying. So 8 times 10. We're just going to kind of move through these. I'm going to assume that you have learned the lesson and know how to do these and not explain all 9 of these in depth. So 8 times 10, we know 8 ones times 10 is 8 tens, or 80. Now, what times 8 will give you 800? Well, 10 times 10, right? 100 times 8 will give us 800. And now 8,000, what do we multiply by 1,000 to get 8,000? You picture that place value chart in your mind, that to get 8,000, it's going to be 8 ones times 1,000, okay? And this might seem obvious to you, but down the line, learning it this way will be very useful. This is the introductory lesson, so chill. All right, so 10 times 3, similar to this 8 times 10, right? Just reversing, putting the 10 first, so obviously it's 30. And now 3 times what is 3,000? And again, you can find an analog over here. Okay, 8 times 1,000 is 8,000. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. And does this not remind you of all we did in Module 2 with kilometers and meters, for example, liters and milliliters? What multiplied by 3 will give us 300, or shall I say 300s? Yes, 100 3 times is 300s. Similar idea here as in those thousands before. 1,000 times 4 is, picture this 4 times 10 times 10 times 10. Moving up to the thousands place, 4,000. Yeah. So, and now it's same as 8 times 10 or 10 times 3 back here, just 10 times 4, except that putting the product first to show you that you can write it this way and it's still an equation, right? So 40 indeed. 400 is what times 100? 4. Okay, good. All right, glad you thought that was so easy. Let's go on now, and I'll try to make it a little more difficult for you. All right, it's not really going to be more difficult, but you see where this is a step up now. So instead of just doing a single-digit number, the 5 times 10 type thing you did in the problem set in class, or the 7 times 100 and such that we just did on number 1 and 2, now we're doing 2-digit numbers. Okay, so same idea here. So 15 times 10, well, that's 110 and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. and we're multiplying by 10. And we know our place value, that each place is 10 times greater than the place before it. So ride the times 10 slide here. 110 times 10 is 100, right? And I'm circling it so it looks like an egg. And then we have these 5 ones that we're also multiplying by 10. And that comes over here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ride the times 10 slide. And now what do we have? We have 100 and 5 tens. 150. All right, and no ones, right? So 150 is our product. And then when we just break it down this way, what we need you to see here is that 110 times 5 ones is, look, you have 1 here and 5 here. So how many tens is it? And this, again, is one that drives your parents nuts because they're like, we didn't do it that way. Okay, got it. We understand. So 100, 5 tens, so we have 15. Do you see that? 15 what? 15 tens. Okay, this will be important down the line that you understand that. And in fact, we've done a bit of this already. This is a pretty straightforward, almost a review of what we did at the beginning of Module 1. You notice there's no word problems. Let's do 5 now. Okay, so we have 17, which we write as 110, and then 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're multiplying by 100, so we're going to ride that times 10 slide twice, because 10 times 10 is 100. Times 10, there is 100, which again, times 10 is 1,000, okay? And now, here we have these 7 ones, so we'll take these doohickeys. We'll have them ride the times 10 slide, multiplying by 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then again, right, because we're multiplying by 100 is what we're doing. So there's times 10, and times 10 again is times 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And now look at what we have, and this is important. We have 1,700s, right? Okay, so that part's easy, right? 1,700. And again here, just like on the previous examples, we're just decomposing here, saying that 100, think of as 10 times 10. So it's still 1,700. And you're like, why do I have to write it twice? Because that's the point, that you understand it is the same. And now, here's the one where you have to think a little bit. 110, 7 ones, 17, that we start with. 110, 7 ones times 100. What's that? So we have 17, right? What place are we in? Hundreds. 17 hundreds. Isn't that another way of saying 1,700? 1700s. Okay, so 17 hundreds. All right, we're grooving right on through here. Let's go on. Number 6 is just like numbers 4 and 5. I just didn't have room to put it on there. Okay, so 36 times 1,000. Okay, so 36, we'll have to represent that in this first. We're going to have to write carefully here because we don't have a whole lot of room. And as you see, we have to multiply by 10 3 times. So 3 tens and 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And so we need to multiply each of these by 10 3 times. So let's just do it. All right. So here we go. Times 10 is 300s. Zoop. Times 10 is 1, 2, 3 thousands. Times 10 is 3 10,000s. Great. Now let's do the same with the 6 ones. There we go. And times 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 tens. And again, times 10, because we're doing this repeatedly because we're multiplying by 1,000 ultimately, right? Which we see is 10 times 10 times 10. So, don't start spacing out on me. All right. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundreds. And one last time. Times 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thousandths. Woo, did it. All right, so 36 times 1,000 is 36 thousandths, okay? And I'm saying it that way, 36,000, 36 thousandths. And of course you know why, right? I'm saying it that way. So 36,000. And the next line just shows you, hey, you can decompose that 1,000 as 10 times 10 times 10. And it's still 36,000. And again, what do we have here? 3 tens, 6 ones we started with, times 1,000 we did. Yeah, it's 36. And what place are we in? The thousands place. So 36 thousandths. All right, and now I'm so happy to get on to numbers 7 through 10 because this is where you see why we're doing this way, where it starts to all make sense for you. Click. Let's move on. So yes, this is another one that drives parents nuts because they're like, I don't know what to do here. This is how we did it. But hang on, because this is where it starts to make sense. Okay, so look at this. To say 2 times 80 is the same as saying 2 times 8 times. You see, we'll take that 80 and decompose each multiple of 10, 100, 1,000 before multiplying. So that's what we're going to do is decompose 80 as 8 times 10. And now you see why, finally you see why we're doing all this, because this is a surer way, and an easier way as well, of doing this kind of multiplication. And again, these are relatively simple examples, but it works for more complex work as well. So we do the 2 times 8 is 16, and then multiply 16 by 10, and we don't need no stinking place value chart anymore. We know that 16 times 10, we're just moving those up to times 10, slide there, and it's going to be 160. Okay, so that's an easy one. All right, now let's look. 2 times 400 is the same as 2 times blank times blank. Well, we'll take that 400 and decompose it as 4 times 100. So what is 2 times 4? Let's do that first, because multiplication is commutative. I love saying that as much as possible. 2 times 4 is, yes, 8. And then we'll multiply it by 100. So taking those 8 ones times 10 times 10, 800. See how it works? Oh, let the beauty shine. 5 times 5,000. Well, let's decompose 5,000. So it'll be 5 times 1,000. So 5 times 5 is 25. Great. And then we will multiply that by 1,000. So 25 times 1,000. And now you see why we were writing it as, in the previous example, it was 36,000. So 36 thousands. 25 times 1,000 is 25 thousands. 25,000. Oh, glorious. Okay, and then this one especially makes the point. So 7 times 6,000. Okay, we'll decompose the 6,000, the multiple of 1,000 here. So it'll be 7 times 6 times 1,000. Ah, yes. So let's do the 7 times 6 first. You know that fact? You better. All right, it's 42. Good. And then we'll multiply it by 1,000. So you're breaking it down in these steps. And you'll be able to do this mentally soon enough, if you can't already. So 42 times 1,000. Dink, dink, dink. Times 10, times 10, times 10. Okay, so 42,000. Oh, radiant beauty of love. Look at that Homework time is through. See you next time. It is once again homework time.